What's up, dudes and girls? We are at day 2 of stage 1 of the superhero program, and we're gonna be starting out with just some full body mobility that you can find in the program. We're gonna be doing some full squats, some frogs, some scorpions, and some arm circles to make sure the full body is warmed up, because we're gonna be performing a full body workout. And we're gonna be starting with deadlifts. So as you can tell, we are putting pretty light weight on to begin this exercise because we're going to be performing 2 warm-up sets before going into our 3 working sets. So we're going to be utilizing lighter weight to perform about 10 to 12 repetitions, not fatiguing the muscle, but just really kind of warming the body up and getting it ready for that specific movement. And in this case, it's going to be the deadlift. And then after those 2 warm-up sets are done, we're going to put on the working set weight, which is going to be quite a bit heavier because we're only completing 5 repetitions. Now, the deadlift can be a bit intimidating. It's a huge movement and one that maybe not everyone's too familiar with or has never done. So there's a few things you want to keep in mind when performing this exercise, and it all starts with the feet, your base of support. And what you're going to do is step up to the bar so that the bar is directly above your shoelace area. And you're going to point your toes out in a comfortable position with the feet just about as wide as your hip. You're going to be bowing forward, flexing in the hips, grasping the bar just outside shoulder, so that way the knees are placed in your inner arm area. And you're basically, from this position, you're gonna raise your hips to feel that nice tension in the hamstrings, and then you're gonna pull your chest upwards. You're gonna feel a little bit of arch in your lower back and your belly drop between your legs, and you're ready for the deadlift. You're gonna push and pull at the same time, extending your hips, reach that top position, and then you're gonna slowly let it down to the bottom position. So congratulations, you just performed the deadlift. And of course, keeping these simple things and simple rules in mind is gonna make sure you're always performing them correctly. And there you go. So we're gonna bust some heavy ass weight out on this exercise, and we're gonna feel damn good doing it. The deadlift, baby, can't beat it. It just feels powerful, feels strong. You're just picking heavy shit up and putting it down. It's pretty simple. Of course, you really have to make sure you're keeping all the form in mind. Make sure you have that perfect structure to lift really heavy weight. Make sure you don't get injured. But other than that, just one badass exercise. And the name's cool too. It has dead in it, which I don't know if that's ominous, like it's gonna kill you, but it just sounds cool. Much like Skull Crusher. We're all about the cool names. Skull Crusher, deadlift, face fucker, I don't know. I made that one up, that's not a real one. Deadlifts are done. Got our 3 sets of 5 repetitions in, and now it's time to move on to the Pendlay Row. This one is all about the concentric contraction. There's no eccentric contraction because essentially you're rolling the bar up, make sure it touches your sternum, and then you can just drop it down from there. So it is the same position as a bent over row. You're just gonna start with the bar on the ground or on the floor, and you're just gonna have a comfortable position in your feet, just about hip width. Be bowing forward, and you're gonna try, you don't really necessarily have to get a 90-degree angle, but you're gonna try to get as parallel to the floor as you can with your upper body. Just grasping the bar just about shoulder width or possibly a little wider. You get nice and stable, really contract that core to stabilize you in this movement. You're gonna be explosively pull that weight up. Now, a mistake a lot of people make in this is that they get in this position, they raise their hips, and they row it and then drop it back down to get the weight up. What you're really trying to do is eliminate movement from your lower body. Although it might be a little bit of help from your lower body, try to eliminate as much as you can. Make sure it's all in the back. You explosively row that bar up to the sternum, and then just let it drop from there, and then continue repetition. So all about that really fast, ballistic movement, that explosive manner of pulling the weight up to yourself and letting it drop from there. Oh yeah, feels good. Feels like a superhero. You're just like pulling some heavy shit. I can tell it was a pretty heavy pull day, and it feels damn good. So that was first set, got 2 more to go. So we just finished up with the Pendlay Row, and now it's on to the pressing exercise. And the first up is gonna be the flat bench stability kettlebell press. Now, it sounds like a mouthful, and it's definitely gonna be a handful as well, because you're really working on the stabilization of the weight. With the kettlebells dangling from the bands, you're gonna feel very unstable. The motion is gonna want to pull you back and forth and side to side, so you're really gonna have to keep the scapula very retracted and tight Make sure you keep a very slow and controlled movement to make sure that bar is going in the direction you want it to. So it's really going to engage a lot of the muscles to not only stabilize it, but also to go through the eccentric and concentric contraction. So again, I can't stress this enough, take it nice and slow, and it's going to take some time to feel out the correct weight. So start lighter, get used to the exercise, and go from there. And if this isn't available for you, if you don't have bands or kettlebells, you can always just do the standard bench press, and it's no problem. But we love this one because of the stabilization that it involves, and so we're going to be busting out 3 sets of 5 repetitions. Oh yeah. Oh, that felt good. It felt stable still. I'm taking it very slow. It felt a lot better. And now, it's not very much weight on there. It's about 225, and it's not light, but for 5 repetitions, I would normally go quite a bit heavier. But since this is so much about stability, you don't want to go too heavy, because of course if something goes wrong, something gets pulled in a different direction, there's going to be some major injury going on. So you want to take a little lighter, even though you are doing lighter reps, just to make sure you're safe, you're stable, and you can go from there. Bar control, baby. Making that bar my bitch. Now we have the last compound exercise on the list, which is going to be the push press. Now if you've ever performed the overhead press, it's going to be very similar to that as far as the positioning, but there's one key difference, and it's going to be that you're driving with your lower body to help push the weight up. And it's that famous saying, dip, drive, press, that you have to remember, because you're going to be dipping down a few inches, be driving upwards with the legs, and then you're going to be pressing the bar to make sure you're getting some good activation in the shoulders. So now with the push press, you can typically push a lot more weight than you would on the conventional overhead press. So you're really just forcing the muscle to go through a heavier weight than it's used to. And then if you really want, you can really slowly let the weight down for a nice eccentric contraction. You want your feet just about hip width or so, and you're going to be placing your hands just about shoulder width or slightly wider. As you can see, the bar is racked, so that way I can immediately just squat it up and bring it into position. And now this is the starting point, and it's going to be dip, drive, press. Oh yeah. Whoa. Oh yeah, that was good. Whew. Kind of glad that was the last one, because I was feeling it. Now we're done with compounds. Next up is going to be some of the smaller muscle groups. We're going to do calves, and then of course abs. And we're going to be doing standing calf raise, and we're utilizing the machine. Of course, if you don't have the machine available, you can do it with a barbell. But this is pretty easy to be able to adjust the weight. We're going to be doing 5 sets of 10 repetitions. You can see the volume goes up pretty high. Now there's just obviously different ways of training. You can go extremely heavy on calves and go a little bit of a lower volume, or you can decrease the weight and go higher volume to really burn those calves out and concentrate on hypertrophy if you're looking for a little bit more size in the calves. And of course, calves shouldn't take the back seat. They can in a lot of ways, so people obviously have a very difficult time building them. So as you can see in this, we're doing 5 sets of 10 reps to make sure you're really hitting those calves, and you try to hit with the same kind of intensity as you do any other exercise, you do like deadlifts or bench press or anything else. So really try to hit these hard to make sure they grow, make sure they're staying symmetrical. That burns, as you can tell, a very nice slow pace. Bring those heels really far down, reach that full stretch, and from the stretch position, you're then contracting the calf muscle, pushing through the heels and pushing through the balls of your feet and raising your heels upward to really hit that peak contraction, the very top position, slight hold, and then slowly let it down in the eccentric contraction back to the stretch position. And once you kind of keep that pace up, those 10 repetitions, you'll feel that intense burn, and that's what we're going for in this exercise. There we go. Last exercise is the rollouts, really focusing on the extension and flexion of the hips, but really try to, as much as you can at least, pull with the abdominals and control your breathing. Exhale on the way down and inhale on the way up. Try to really engage those abdominals as much as you can. Of course, the complete core is going to be working because it's not only in the abdominals, but it's also the lower back that has to stabilize you in that plank position as you roll out. And then as you bring yourself to the top position, the abs are really going to help pull you back up to the top. But there we go. We're going to do 3 sets, 15 reps, and that's it. We are done for day 2, and Had an absolute blast. Can't wait for day 3. Thanks for joining us for this workout today. I'm excited to see you on day 3. And as always, yes, baby.